Hi all, in this video we'll try to talk about the position that is Sun in the first house. What happens when Sun is in the first house? So what is first house basically? First house is your ascendant or the Lagna house, right? So it represents your nature, your physical health, your physical appearance, and also your health and your nature, your attitude. That is your first house, right? How much strength you may have in your life, throughout your life. So first house is basically your existence as a person, right? So if your first house is filled with a lot of malefic energy, you may have problems with your health for sure, right? You may have problems with your attitude, your nature, and all this stuff. Of course, in order to judge the first house related matters, we also need to understand where is your Lord, the first house Lord, right? But here we are not dealing with that. So let me tell you one situation where the first house Lord is going to play an important role, right? Just an example. We are not talking about the first house Lord anymore, but I just want to give one example. After that, we will try to understand what happens when Sun is in the first house. So let us say a person is having moon in the 12th house. What happens when moon is in the 12th house? When moon is in the 12th house, the person may become very much imaginative. The person is very much creative, right? Very sensitive. Means if you just utter one sentence against that person, the person may feel very bad, right? He's very sensitive, oversensitive when moon is in the 12th house. So, and one more thing is, when moon is in the 12th house, it may try to give bad health to the person in his childhood, especially, right? In ancient times, when moon was in 12th house, people used to say that particular native may not live for a long time, or he may lead a very unhealthy life. That was the saying in olden days. Moon in the 12th house, so the person would be unhealthy. So that kind of dictums they actually they try to give. But one more important thing is, even though moon is in the 12th house, if your first house Lord, that is your Lagna Lord or the ascendant Lord, is very much powerful, something like, let us say, Sagittarius ascendant, moon is in the 12th house, that is in Scorpio. So obviously moon in Scorpio is not so good. So you can expect here the moon's dignity is very bad because it is in the 12th house. At the same time, it is in the Scorpio sign, in the sign of Scorpio, right? Moon is not so comfortable in Scorpio because it becomes very much, the mind becomes very much worried when moon is in Scorpio, right? So that's why Scorpions means the people having moon in the Scorpio, they are always having some thoughts going on in the background. Always they are worried, right? This is a fundamental thing. So here, even more, moon is in the 12th house. Then what happens? The person may have some health related issues, some unhealthy life, at least in the childhood, because here moon is in the 12th house. The 12th house is very much important. That moon in Scorpio, the person is always having some thoughts, some worries in the background. That is there for moon in Scorpio. But for moon in 12th house, that gives a very unhealthy childhood, right? So what happens here when moon is in 12th house? Unhealthy childhood. And what else? The person may lead unhealthy life most of the times, but here the dignity of the ascendant Lord is very much important. If the ascendant Lord, so here we are considering the Sagittarius ascendant. For Sagittarius ascendant, the Lord is Jupiter. So if Jupiter is, let us say, Jupiter's dignity is very good, means something like Jupiter is in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra or Punarvasu Nakshatra or in Vishakha Nakshatra, which are all the Jupiter Nakshatras. So whenever a planet is in its own Nakshatra, it becomes very much powerful according to Nakshatra astrology, right? So when Jupiter is in Purva Bhadrapada for Sagittarius ascendant, obviously the person would be having, would be having a great strength of his ascendant Lord. So even though moon is in the 12th house, it may give some bad healthy life in the early days, means in the childhood only, but later point of time, means after some years of that childhood, the person would become very healthy and would lead a very good life, right? So the ascendant lord's dignity is very much important whenever you are trying to judge the health of a native, right? Now that's the importance of ascendant lord. So first house is very much important. First house represents your physical health, your mental health, your nature, your attitude, and your physical appearance. So how much charm the other people can perceive from you, right? By looking at you, how much the perception of the other people by looking at you is also decided by the first house, basically, right? Now let's try to understand. See, whenever you're trying to judge a house, what factors we generally take? The planets that are sitting in the house, and also the lord of that house, the dignity of the planet sitting in the house, and also the lord of the house where he is sitting, the dignity of the lord of the house, we generally say. Now in the first house, let us say sun is sitting. So what is sun? Basically, sun represents ego. Sun is a royal planet. It represents your royal behavior. So when sun is in the first house, the person is basically having a lot of ego, lot of prestige, lot of pride, and also he behaves like a king, basically, right? That is the nature of that particular person, and he is very much interested in religious activities, just like Swami Vivekananda, right? How he is very much interested in the religion, right? So sun is basically, it represents dharma. Sun is a dharma planet, means whatever may be the situation, the king follows the rules, just like Lord Sri Ram. He just sacrificed his own wife just to follow the rules of a king that time, right? So sun is very royal. Sun is very principle oriented. He's very much related to dharma, very much related to religion, right? And sun also represents health. Sun also represents a father. So generally when sun is in the first house, so basically the person may think a lot about his father. Sun, as it represents government, so the person may get help from the government. But one more thing I want to tell you, you need to understand your sun is malefic or not. It depends upon your ascendant. Something like, let us say for Virgo ascendant, sun is malefic, right? And for let us say Capricorn ascendant, sun is very much malefic. And let's try to see another planet, another ascendant, that is Pisces ascendant. For Pisces ascendant, sun is very much malefic, right? So for Pisces ascendant, Virgo ascendant, and also the Capricorn ascendant, sun is basically malefic. So even though sun is directly coming and sitting in your first house, it may not be very much benefic for you. It may give some problems related to your health, especially, right? So the sun is a malefic planet for Virgo ascendant, Pisces ascendant, and Capricorn ascendant. So even though they may have sun in the first house, they may not going to get a lot of advantages. Instead, they may get a lot of troubles related to health or attitude or the nature, So what happens when a king is very much malefic, when a king behaves very much rude, just imagine. So that is how it's going to bring problems for Pisces ascendant and Capricorn ascendant and Virgo ascendant related to sun, because for these three ascendants, that is Virgo, Capricorn, and Pisces ascendant people, sun is very much malefic. So it's going to bring problems in its Antardasha also, in its Antardasha or in the Mahadasha, wherever sun is coming into the picture in the life, sun is activated, they may get some problems related to the house the sun is present. So here we are talking about the sun in the first house, so generally it is going to create problems in all the first house related matters, whether it is your attitude, your health, your nature, your physical appearance. It may give you some kind of disease because it's present in the first house. So for all other ascendants, it may be a bit comfortable. It may give some kind of benefits only. It may not give any kind of it may not give much problems for all other ascendants, right? So Sun in the first house is really very good for all other ascendants other than Capricorn, Pisces and Virgo ascendant people. Other than these three ascendant people, if Sun is sitting in the first house, it's going to be very much good. Something like, let's try to say Virgo ascendant. For Virgo ascendant, Sun is coming and sitting in the first house. What happens? So basically, first house represents your health and 12th house represents hospitalization. So the person may get some, there are some chances of hospitalization for the person, because Sun is sitting in the first house for Virgo ascendant and he is the 12th lord. Just imagine. And 12th house is clearly connecting the hospitalization, the loneliness, and also the sorrow and grief matters here. And Sun is also malefic here for Virgo ascendant and sitting in the first house, directly impacting the health of the person, right? So let's take another ascendant like Sagittarius ascendant. For Sagittarius ascendant, just imagine the beauty. The Sun is a very lucky planet for Sagittarius ascendant guys. And when Sun is coming and sitting in the first house, Sagittarius is always about the organizing matters, organizing the things and fighting for dharma, right? Sagittarius people are very much organized, very much principle oriented. They talk a lot about dharma. Whether in inner side they may have different things, but they are very strict for outer appearance for sure, right? So when this kind of Sun is coming and sitting in the dharma region, that is in the Sagittarius region, just imagine the person is going to be very royal and he is going to fight for justice generally, right? As Sun is sitting in the sign of Sagittarius, the person would generally fight for justice, generally fight for all the Sagittarius related matters, right? The kingly matters, and also Sagittarius is always writing the principles, writing the laws, writing how to behave, how to be in the public, or how to be with the people, and what is wrong and what is right. So writing all these things is Sagittarius. Creating an order in the society is Sagittarius. Just imagine when Sun kind of energy is sitting in the first house, the person is going to be very much principle oriented. He is always trying to set some new order in the society, or he is going to fight for some new policies in the society, so that's how we can say, right? And if you observe the Aries ascendant guys, for Aries ascendant, just imagine Sun is a very benefic planet for Aries ascendant people. And if Sun is sitting in the ascendant itself, that is in the Aries, so Sun basically exalts in Aries. So just imagine the person even become a very great warrior, a very great fighter, who is going to bring some kind of principles in the society. He may try to establish something new in the. He will become a trendsetter. He will fight for something, he will fight for something, and he will gain fame out of that, right? So this kind of predictions we can make, right? So this is about Sun in the first house, and we'll meet in some other video with some other placement. Thanks for watching this video.